a little psycho on you today.
Well, psychoanalytical, that is. What? I'm not weird, you're weird. Anyone that's had success with their diet and fitness goals knows that the mental game is just as important, if not more important, than the diets and workouts themselves. I mean, if you can't keep your head in the game, you're probably not gonna be playing very long. Know what I mean? In my opinion, it's psychological barriers that keep us from reaching our goals. Most of us know the basics of losing weight already. We've all heard the same things over and over. Calories in versus calories out. Move more, eat less. Watch your refined sugar intake. Limit trans fats and fried foods. Eat whole, unprocessed foods. We know all this crap. Then why do we struggle so much? Why does our intellect betray us? And how can we take better control and ownership of our success? Let's start by acknowledging a simple fact. Food tastes really good, y'all, especially the ones high in fat, sugar, and salt. And that's why it can make things extremely difficult if you're relying on your willpower alone. For most of us, willpower is a finite source. It will do us good, but only up to a certain point. We shouldn't have to shield ourselves from the outside world. But you might want to consider limiting opportunities for temptation. This means clearing out your kitchen of tempting snacks and foods unless it's a day that you plan to have a certain treat. Limiting how often you go out to eat is a good idea as well. Cooking at home is the only way to have full control over what you put in your body. By limiting how often we dine out, we've got a better fighting chance of calling upon that willpower when we actually need it. But come on, sometimes life gets ahead of us, so just keep a protein bar or a handful of nuts in the car at all times for emergencies when things get a little crazy. Minimize situations that rely on willpower alone, because at some point, most of us will break. And if you do break, don't sweat it. Get over this all or nothing type of thinking where if you do slip on your diet, you're like, well, screw it, I may as well just eat myself to death now. No, this is called getting a case of the fuck it's. This is when that willpower of yours gets lost, like the one time I was with my mom at the market and I went off on my own because of my adventurous spirit. Then when I turned around and realized my mom wasn't there, I got really scared and searched everywhere for her. But then it was okay because I found her in the same aisle I originally left her. Just because you slip or cheat on your diet doesn't mean all is lost. The trick here is to not expect perfection and to realize weight loss and weight gain, for that matter, won't happen overnight. Mark my words, you will not adhere to your diet perfectly. And even if you did, it's likely going to take at least a handful of months to shed the pounds. It could be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. It depends on where you're starting from. Here are some things to focus on in the meantime that happen on a much shorter time frame. Do you have more energy? Are you sleeping better? Are you more focused when you're eating healthier? Do you have pains that have subsided? Do you see a difference in your skin or your hair? Focusing on overall health can be a great way to take some of the focus off the scale. I know where there's a scale, there's often a mirror. And if we have a negative body image of ourselves, it can be super detrimental to our spirit and motivation. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look better in the mirror. After all, in most cases, if we look healthier in the mirror, then it's more than likely that our insides are looking healthier too. But if you're constantly focusing and obsessing on certain areas of your body or comparing yourself to others you see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, then you might be adapting unrealistic expectations. First of all, the only person you need to focus on is you. What do you want? How do you want to feel? No one else matters, and quite frankly, no one else really gives a shit. Meaning, no one cares about what you're doing in the gym or what diet you tried this time, or no one's judging you, and no one is going to care about your goals the way that you do. Celebrate the small positive changes you see throughout the process, whether those changes be physical or not. You're not gonna all of a sudden see what you wanna see overnight. You gotta slowly but surely chip away and always be looking for places to improve. So how do we ground these expectations in reality? Well, by informing ourselves as much as we can, by understanding that eating healthy doesn't always mean weight loss, and by not being in denial when it comes to our favorite fad diet we've been doing for years but never really fully seem to get where we want. Lack of knowledge and denial is one of the biggest psychological barriers in my opinion. You don't know what you don't know. And what's worse is oftentimes people think they know what they really don't know. Start getting truly curious about the foods you eat and how the body processes them. You don't have to learn everything overnight. That's not gonna happen anyways. But there are a lot of great places to get small, little, digestible bits of information, specifically on Instagram and TikTok. But be careful, because there's also a ton of shit information floating around them parts too. Maybe you're saying you don't have time to constantly be learning new facts about nutrition, fat loss, and fitness. Well, then I'm saying you're not prioritizing yourself or your goals. You can't expect anything to change in any area of your life if you don't give it the attention it deserves. Your health is no different. Look, life gets busy, things get frustrating, things get in the way that sometimes aren't in our control. I get it. We all experience that. But at some point, you've got to start asking yourself if health is at the top of your list. If not, well then just keep doing whatever it is you're doing. You do you. No one needs to tell you how you should or shouldn't live your life. But waiting for the perfect time to get in shape is what I call the Moses syndrome. The seas will never part for you and create the perfect opportunity for you to conveniently have the time to work out, cook your meals, and focus solely on your fitness goals. No. If health and fitness is important to you, then you've got to find ways to make the time for it, just like anything else in your life that's important to you. I'm not saying you need to uproot your life and change everything in a day to make room for working out and losing weight, but you do need to at least start making some small changes where you can and expand on that. And I tell you what, making changes isn't always comfortable. Working out isn't always comfortable. Making healthy decisions isn't always comfortable. Learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. We like to live in perfect homeostasis as much as possible. We like things to be nice and peachy. Push your own boundaries. Eject yourself from your comfort zone. The more you do this, the easier it will become. There's so much peace you can find through teaching yourself to be uncomfortable at times, because the truth is, we tend to grow the most as people when things get uncomfortable. And the more you teach yourself to be uncomfortable on your terms, the better you'll be able to handle life when it decides to shove shit in your mouth. And the reality is, sometimes we're the ones shoving shit in our own mouths and don't even realize it.
I got a belly full of white dog crap in me. And now you lay this shit on me?
I'm talking about how you mentally handle both the world around you and yourself internally. How do you handle mental turmoil? Sometimes unforeseen external circumstances throw us for a loop. Sometimes we have a nagging resentment about someone that is constantly on repeat in our heads. Sometimes that nagging resentment is toward ourselves and filled with regret and negative self-talk. What worries, grudges, sorrows, and issues do you find yourself thinking about constantly? This kind of stuff can take up valuable real estate in our heads and distract us from reaching our goals. Oftentimes, we inflate things in our heads. We make things bigger deals than they are. And the biggest thing that's helped me overcome this is understanding that there are no big deals in life. So what the hell do I even mean by that? Yes, big things in life happen, but we don't have to become reactive to them and treat them like big deals. If we approach them with a level head, we're better equipped to look at these times objectively and get through the problem a little easier and without pouring gas onto the flame. I'm sure there's been times in your life where you felt the weight of the world bearing down on your shoulders and you didn't know how you were going to make it through. Well, you're still here, right? You made it. You're probably going to have times like that again, to one degree or another. So why not give yourself a break and learn to take it easy next time something happens, or next time you find yourself spinning out on some sort of internal negativity. Your reality starts up here. Look, I have a confession to make. I'm not a real psychologist. These aren't even mine. I've just been through all this before, and I see people struggle on a daily basis. I still go through this stuff and probably will to some degree or another for the rest of my life. It's not about doing anything perfectly. That won't happen. This is all stuff you gotta work on over time. It's not gonna change overnight, but you're not gonna change at all if you're not aware of what needs to be changed, right? So you gotta start somewhere, and becoming aware of these psychological blocks is the first step to doing something about it. I've got plenty of other videos that go over more practical approaches to losing weight and getting into shape, but remember that fitness and fat loss isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, so some of the info I share you'll use, some may not be for you specifically, but I'm always posting new content. Thanks so much for watching. As for this video, we're done here.